3.
Officers James Benoit and Johnny Mitchell, these are the names of the first two African-American police officers to join the Lafayette Police Department. This plaque was placed here as a way to honor the life and legacy these two friends left behind. I spoke to their sons about how their fathers have paved the way for others to follow in their footsteps.
It took this long, but it's Black history, but we're very proud to be able to give this to this community to recognize and give a little history to.
Officers Benoit and Mitchell started working at LPD on June 5th, 1953. Mitchell's son Bill tells me times were a lot different back then.
They would walk to work together, and take the train tracks, because they wasn't allowed in the public with their guns, even though they were policemen.
His older son Pascal says they were only assigned to serve a specific demographic.
They were working in the communities in the Macomb, Visay, Fightonville area, on the block, and all those places, because, they only assigned them in a certain area to serve the Black community.
Despite all of the hurdles they faced, Mitchell's sons tell me the two friends always had each other's six.
They always had each other back.
That's right.
Everywhere they go.
Nearly 71 years later, there's now 61 Black police officers at LPD. Benoit's son Oscar has served in law enforcement for 42 years. His father's dedication to service inspired him and the next generation in their family to work in law enforcement.
I named my first son after him, too, James Benoit. He's a trooper now. James, I believe about 4 years ago, I kind of inspired him to take the police chief test. And the story goes, he did. First, he didn't want to. I told him, I says, you got to realize that when your grandfather came, he couldn't take the test. And that was very meaningful that after X amount of years, James Benoit took the police chief test and passed it.
This memorial was donated by 5 organizations: Noble, 100 Black Men, Police Association of Lafayette number 905, Magnolia State Peace Officers Association, and Fraternal Order of Police number 5. A piece of history that will remain here for future generations to see. A former St. Thomas More coach has been indicted again. Jacob De La Paz was indicted on a charge of attempted production of child pornography last year. However, yesterday, a federal grand jury handed up another indictment against De La Paz. He's now facing a charge of attempted receipt of child pornography. If convicted on the production charge, De La Paz faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison. If convicted of the receipt charge, he faces a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison. For the full story, you can head on over to our website at KATC.com. A new study found Louisiana's coastal wetlands could be underwater in the coming decades, and that could impact how devastating hurricanes could be on the area. Scientists say sea levels are rising faster than the wetlands can grow. The study's authors say of the 253 wetland sites it monitored, about 6% are entirely underwater, even at low tide. Meanwhile, about 70% are in the process of drowning. If sea levels continue to rise as expected, the study predicts Louisiana could lose 75% of all its coastal wetlands by 2070.
Weather-wise, locally in the near term, we're talking pretty mild conditions tonight. Temperatures ranging upper 50s to lower 60s, and they're not going to cool off a whole lot more because of cloud cover, and that cloud cover will be thickening, and we do have a little bit of a southerly breeze out there. Lots of clouds, some showers out in the Gulf of Mexico. We have just some ground clutter inland, but that's going to change by daybreak tomorrow as patchy light rain and drizzle and mist begin to move in, and that's where we're going to see occasional periods of light rain. And the farther north you are, the less you're going to see the rain. And then as we go through tomorrow evening, that changes as we have a strong front on the way for Saturday. That's going to plummet our temperatures into the 40s and eventually into the low to mid 30s for Saturday night. Sunday morning, we'll have the latest on that in the main weathercast. Near term tonight, temperatures bottom out at about 57 degrees, we'll say, in Lafayette, 56, 57 degrees. And then for tomorrow, we'll warm up to about 66 for the afternoon high. Rain chance during the day bouncing between about 30 and about 60%. Not a washout, just a nuisance for tomorrow. The 10-day forecast features the rain tomorrow, winter this weekend, and a shot of spring next week, maybe even 80 degrees. We'll tell you when that's going to happen and have the True View forecast coming up in just a bit.
Who said life isn't a game? I'm Elijah Nixon, and here in Lafayette, you can play childhood favorites like Mario Super Smash for a big pot. Eat, sleep, game, and repeat. Lafayette had this going on since 2009, but in 2021, Laffy Smash made itself a brand, and locals in the community said this was the right play.
I've always felt pretty bored in Lafayette, and just having someplace to go where I can actually meet people my age and do things together with them, I feel like that's the sense of community that I have.
The whole world is about to see that too. It's fun.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, men and women will pay $10 to participate in the Smash Bros tournament. Whoever places in the top 3 wins money. Even though it's not Madden or 2K, it's something that everyone still can enjoy.
Yes. Oh, wait.
I'd say now it is. I used to be a big Call of Duty head because that's what my friends played, but ever since I started doing this, I put a lot of time into this, so I took over pretty quickly.
After being a part of Comic-Con last year, they've been invited again in 2024. And it's an honor for them to be recognized. But what makes the owners the GOAT is that they're able to bring people together.
You know, I know a lot of people probably in school, they get made fun of for certain things, being interested in certain things that aren't, you know, the common or the norm or something like that. This is a way for you to kind of break away from that. You know, it's a way for you to find like-minded individuals, for you to just be yourself and not have to worry about being part of the status quo.
Reporting in Lafayette, I'm Elijah Nixon with KATC TV.
Oh, we have rain on the way as we head into tomorrow. We'll talk more about that. And a couple of seasons in that 10-day forecast. We'll have all the details right after the break. And I finish this game. Welcome back. Well, it was a pretty nice day across Acadiana in spite of the cloud cover. We had some intervals of sun, and that got our temperature up to 74 degrees today. Notice the record on this date, 22, the coldest just 3 years ago. It's hard to believe 2021's already 3 years ago, but it is. Rainfall-wise, let's bring it over to the wall, and we'll talk about that. Rainfall, we've been way ahead since December and January, and that, again, has impacted the crawfish situation after the drought, and now we've improved on that. And this month, we're close to normal. We have very light rains tomorrow. I don't think we even get a 1/10 of an inch in Lafayette, but we'll get close to that in many spots. And then maybe one more rain for the rest of the month. It looks pretty dry after tomorrow. In fact, as we take a look at your rain chances, plotting them up, periods of light rain for tomorrow evening, we're in the 60% range, and it's in the scattered category, not widespread, not it's a done deal. And the rest of next week, going into next week, looking awfully quiet and beyond. Want to update you on the drought situation. This is what it was just in going into the last week of January, where we had much of Louisiana back in the summertime. 70% of the state was in the exceptional range, and you can see how that got whittled back. Well, just fast forward 2 weeks to today, and this is the latest drought status. It pretty much eradicated across most of Acadiana. Still a little dry along and north of I-10, but not too bad. A moderate drought still in central Louisiana, but we've made some serious inroads into the drought situation across the area, and we still look to have some regular rains going into March. We'll see what this summer holds for us. Back to the west, this is the most interesting. Check out California, completely, just about completely out of a drought. Still a little dry on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada range, but there are a few spots in New Mexico, and usually you're going to have your droughts most prevalent in the desert or the high west. Notice the Midwest, though, serious snow deficit this year across the upper portions of the Midwest. So as we open it on up, there's our next weather maker. It's down here by Baja. It's energizing the subtropical jet stream. We see kind of this ribbing in the cloud cover. Those are perturbations, just little disturbances in the atmosphere as the air is traveling over the mountains of Mexico, and eventually those perturbations help generate rain. We're seeing that across South Texas and offshore. Big snows back to the west. Look at this big whopper out here. This looks like a hurricane out here in the Pacific. More big snows for the Pac Northwest and the northern Rockies, where winter storm warnings are in effect. And then even in the Northeast, still some pretty hefty snows with a little bit of an Alberta clipper, and we have a winter storm watch for portions of the Mid-Atlantic in response to this low That's going to move off to the east of us in a couple of days. It is producing some rain out there, mostly cloud cover. You can see the moon through some of those high clouds, but you get out into the Gulf of Mexico, we have rain developing out here. And this is where the lion's share of the precipitation with this next weather system is going to be, mostly in the Gulf of Mexico. And we're just going to get the northern fringe of the rain out with this system. And we'll see spotty showers developing by daybreak, maybe a little patchy fog, but the showers should mix that up. And again, not showing a whole lot of rain. It's going to be some rain, some mist, some drizzle, and then sharply colder as we head into Saturday morning. Look at your temperatures here, staying in the 40s and your wind chills in the 30s for Saturday. Clouds stick around Saturday, so a cloudy winter-like day. You're going to be looking for snow flurries, but we're not going to get that. And then it clears out Sunday morning, and then the graph is going too cold for Lafayette, but low to mid 30s for Acadiana. Good call. We're going to go about 34 or 35 for Lafayette. Rain totals, again, very light, a tenth of an inch or less. This is the latest graph model suggesting maybe a quarter to a half inch down towards St. Mary Parish, but most of us don't get much rain with this system. It's just going to dirty your car, essentially. Temperature-wise, mid to upper 50s overnight tonight. Tomorrow into the low to mid 60s for your afternoon highs. And then tomorrow night, we see that cold air dropping southward. Our temperatures get down into the 40s, even upper 30s up toward Alexandria. And then we stay in the 40s all day long on Saturday. 57 the low tonight, not as chilly. A few patches of fog toward daybreak, but it should be a quiet night tomorrow. Periods of light rain, sprinkles, quarter inch or less. Probably bring that down to a tenth of an inch the way things are looking at this point. Chance of getting wet or enough rain to wet the ground at about 60%. The same goes into tomorrow night. Any showers will be ending first thing Saturday. Sunday, and it looks cold, but it will warm up. Look at those lows, low to mid 30s, and then upper 70s to near 80 for Wednesday and or Thursday. That would be the first time that would have happened this year if we get to those levels. That's it for weather for now. We're going to have more coming up right after the break.
The Fulton County District Attorney who filed the Trump election interference case on the witness stand in Atlanta today.
I've been very anxious to have this conversation with him today, so I ran to the courtroom. Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman. Me, not so much.
At issue, whether Fonnie Willis's romantic relationship with the special prosecutor Nathan Wade, who she hired for the case, creates a conflict of interest, and whether Willis benefited financially from it.
The district attorney is totally compromised. The case has to be dropped.
Wade says the relationship started in 2022 after he was hired to handle the election interference case. A former friend and coworker of Willis contradicting his testimony.
Are you certain that Ms. Willis told you about the romantic relationship with Mr. Wade prior to November 1st of 2021?
Yes.
Willis disputes the financial benefit claims. Wade testifying Willis often paid him back in cash for their travel together or spent money on him in other ways so their expenses balanced out.
She's a very independent, proud woman, so she's going to insist that she carries her own weight. She is going to pay her own way.
At the same time, Trump himself in a Manhattan courtroom in his hush money case. A judge denying Trump's motion to dismiss the criminal case stemming from that payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels.
I'm going to have to sit here for months on a trial. I think it's ridiculous. It's unfair.
He pleaded not guilty to nearly 36 counts of falsifying business records to hide the payments prosecutors say were made to buy Daniels' silence so voters would not learn of the alleged affair with her, though he continues to deny the affair.
The judge in the hush money case has set a trial date of March 25th, starting with jury selection. Rena Broy, ABC News, New York.
Louisiana versus Georgia Southern is what league play is all about. The Cajuns held the Eagles to only 6 points after the first, led by 1 at the half, outscored by 8 in the third. But as the saying goes, sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Not the prettiest win, as Louisiana struggled rebounding at times and pivotal turnovers, a total of 19. But one of their leading rebounders, Tamia Robinson, helped lead them to victory, posting an 18-7-3 performance. She says her biggest turning point of this season has been building on her confidence.
Just staying with it and keeping my confidence. I work on those shots every day, so just knowing that if I keep shooting, they'll fall. Some will fall, some won't fall, but that don't mean stop shooting. So that's what I try to tell myself during the game, just keep shooting, keep going hard. And also just like, not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side, to try to get those shots going to give me energy, and I just try to keep my defense up.
It was very personal today. This stuff is really, really personal when you get cancers like this. And for me, it's more of a, I'm not going to be private about it. I don't know why I see so many people being private. I'm not, because I need to be heard and how important it is. Yeah. But it's extremely important to me.
As you just heard from head coach Gary Broadhead, a special night in the Cajun Dome during the Pink Out game to add another win in the column, but another win to help spread awareness. Broadhead lost his wife, Andrea, to breast cancer back in 2015, but he says that he's happy to win and he's proud to use his platform to help fight cancer. Covering the Cajuns, Megan Glover, KTC Sports.